Welcome to this special edition of AQMD On The Air. I'm your host, Lior Alpern. The transportation, health, and technology sectors and their impact on air quality have been the subject of many of the discussions we've had with our guests here on our AQMD On The Air. So when we participated in the annual meeting of the Transportation Research Board of the National Academy of Sciences, we prepared a short compilation of some of these interviews to exhibit at the event. Enjoy.
Air pollution from cars and trucks leads to increased cases of asthma, lost days of school and work, and premature deaths.
Clearly, air quality in our region is something that's very, very important, very critical to the quality of life of our residents. And so I think that focus on the part of transportation agencies is absolutely essential.
We know that air pollution, both indoor and outdoor air pollution, can actually trigger childhood asthma. And it decreases the lung growth of children. But we also know that it can even cause asthma now. We didn't know that 10 years ago, but the data that keeps coming in now is that it's having much more of an effect than we had anticipated.
There have been studies shown that if you live close to a source of pollution, like a freeway or a refinery, your chances of respiratory disease and cancer are increased. There's a difference if you live within half a mile, 1 mile, or beyond 1 mile from the freeway.
So the question is, with all the benefits of goods movement, there is obviously challenges. One of them is air quality, pollution, and diesel pollution that's known to cause asthma and premature deaths.
And the air quality impacts are very challenging for us, especially for folks that live or work near the major railways and the major freeways through which those goods are carried. So it's a critical issue for us as far as our economic development is concerned. It's a critical issue for us as far as air quality is concerned.
Where my sister, my brother, my sister-in-law, my niece is only 28 years old. They've gotten asthma because of the air that they breathe. Even with all the control that we've had, we still have a big problem with the air pollution in this part of the world.
Also, the need for federal engagement in the goods movement program. Freight is an extremely important aspect of the transportation program in this country, and certainly in the state of California and in our region, given the ports of LA and Long Beach. But it's also very important from an air quality perspective.
Goods movement, as you mentioned, is a very critical component of Southern California life. 43% of all containers coming to the U.S. actually are shipped through our two ports, Los Angeles and Long Beach. 1 in 12 jobs in the region is created related to goods movement.
California residents suffer disproportionately from the movement of goods through our major ports, and the air pollution that results from cargo shipments must be addressed.
Long Beach was kind of unique in this national coalition that we had to treat childhood asthma, because we're in Long Beach, and Long Beach has one of the largest ports in the world, and we're also surrounded by a lot of freeways. So the discourse and the discussion that we had was a lot about the air that our children and families are breathing, because we have so many trucks on the 710 freeway, we have so many ships that are coming in, we have all the cars, and all of those are point sources of pollution.
AQMD has also been involved with the counties and the ports on goods movement, how we get all that stuff out of the ports of the Inland Empire.
As we take a look at future growth in western Riverside County, we can't just be insular. We can't just look at what's happening in our 17 cities. Growth at the ports of Long Beach and Los Angeles, I think about 1 million containers or 1 billion containers a year are moving through those ports. And all of that stuff that comes into the ports of LA and Long Beach, almost all of it makes its way through western Riverside County. So
the more cars that we got, the more diesel engines that were run, the more machinery that was brought into Southern California, the more people that came to live here, the more polluted it became.
As we've implemented many of the initiatives from the Green Port Policy, thereafter came forward a Clean Air Action Plan in conjunction with our partners at the Port of LA. And in both instances, we're promoting technology such as shore power or cold ironing. In fact, that's already implemented at our berths, some of our berths in Long Beach and Los Angeles. In Long Beach, we're the only port in the nation that has a cold ironing or shore power capability for an oil tanker. When you translate in terms of what that means of the reduction of emissions is significant. As a result also, we've managed to reduce pollution from the truck drayage component 80%, and primarily because we mandated and worked with our partners to implement not only to have the post-2007 EPA mandated truck engines, but also the private industry stepped up to make sure that they replace some of these old polluting trucks.
And that pollution has been shown to affect children and families and their health. So I think we had a very unique role in raising awareness about those issues and a unique fight for cleaner air and for better technology. And I think, you know, what's encouraging is that the technology exists and it's getting better. It's just that we have to have the political will to invest in that technology to really clean up the air.
We're not going to reduce the amount of goods coming into the ports of LA Long Beach. We're unlikely to reduce the number of people driving, although moving them into any kind of public transportation is good. So technology is going to play a key role in making sure that our economy is strong, but at the same time we're bringing down emissions.
As we revamp the transportation program through the next authorizing legislation, it needs to be more reflective of the values that exist today. Obviously sustainability, clearly the need to improve air quality, and the mobility demands that we all face. And I would be remiss if I didn't mention also the need for federal engagement in the goods movement program. Freight is an extremely important aspect of the transportation program in this country, certainly in the state of California and in our region, given the ports of LA and Long Beach, but it's also very important from an air quality perspective. So if we can get more federal investment in a national freight policy, which would not only look to find ways to move goods out of the port areas more quickly and through our communities and getting them from port to market, but also looking at ways to develop these ports and to improve them from a standpoint of emission reductions and the protection of air quality.
By investing in innovative state highway and transit projects, we can help create jobs, reduce congestion on our roads, improve the movement of goods, and make our air cleaner to breathe.
There are some people who believe in global warming, and there are others who don't. Some of the ones who don't believe it might be more concerned about national security or buying oil from unstable, militarily and politically unstable regions. Others may worry about unstable fuel prices because of demand climbing in India and China, but supplies being relatively flat. The fact is, though, no matter which of those concerns one feels is the most highly likely to occur or the highest probability to occur, the fact is all of those problems take us to the same conclusions, which is that we need to reduce our consumption of fossil fuel.
And that's our show. I'm Leora Alpern. Thank you for watching AQMD On The Air. Visit us at cleanerconnections.org to learn how you can help us clean the air that we breathe.
Let's work together now. Let's